Hey everybody, welcome back. We are here for another episode, Chapter 5 of the Book of Boba Fett. For the Book of Boba Fett Watch Party, our episode 5. And you got me here, Mike Sandoval from MUSE TV. And over here to my right,
Once again, it is me, the J to the E to the double F ray. I'm Jeffrey Harris, and you're watching the MUSE TV watch party for Book of Boba Fett, episode 5. Wow. So we are over halfway done. We're on episode 5, so we're not quite in the home stretch, but we are on the last 3 episodes of the season. So the table has been set. Boba Fett has completed his Bacta tank healing, and he's preparing for a war with the crime syndicates of Tatooine, and everyone wants a piece of Tatooine. It seems so.
everybody
And
wants.
Boba Fett is building. He's building his Gatra, the Gatra.
Yep.
So I guess the big thing coming out of last week's episode was the ending, where there was that little tease of the Mandalorian theme music, which when Fennec Shand was like, credits can buy muscle, obvious implication is they are going to bring in the Mandalorian, Din Djarin, Pedro Pascal, to sort of help them out. And people are expecting maybe we're going to see Mandalorian this week to kind of as a guest spot.
Will we see Sasha Banks come in this episode too?
Maybe. But I mean, it's appropriate because this show basically brought back Boba Fett into the Star Wars mythos. So now we're going to see a bit of a switch, so to speak, with possibly Mandalorian showing up or Costco Reeves. They did just announce. I'll send you the pictures. The Costco Reeves Sasha Banks Hot Toys collectible.
I think I saw it. I think she posted some pictures when she was at Hot Toys, but it wasn't painted or anything like that. It was just
we can show collectible figures on here, right?
Yeah, we can show anything we want. Well, almost anything.
This is product. Like, we're promoting their products here. So like,
hey, they sent us a press release on
stuff. And so this is all fair game. So look, we got the Costco Reeves 6 scale. So this is based on Costco Reeves, aka Mercedes Varnado, Sasha Banks. So there you go.
Yep. That is kind of cool though that she gets to have her own hot toy.
By the way, I mean, all fun aside, I just want to send my condolences to Sasha Banks and her family after their recent loss. So,
I haven't even heard what happened.
Oh, there was a loss in the family. Oh. I don't. Hold on, I want to look up this story just because I don't want to get this wrong. I
haven't even heard anything about it.
According to PWI Insider, her father passed away. So I hope I'm not getting that wrong. So, but yeah. So my condolences to Sasha Banks and her family. But yes, this is a great representation of the character from season 2 of Mandalorian. So she's kind of like a cool character.
That's probably why she posted something with her father and Snoop. So that's probably why.
Yeah.
Just go out to her as well. I wasn't sure, but you see things on the internet and you never know if it's real.
Yeah, you never know the context and whatnot, and people are going through their own things. But yeah, that's a great looking. I mean, man, I do not have enough money in the world to get like. I'd be drowning in Hot Toys 6 scale collectibles because these are, or the sideshow versions, because like these are works of art to me.
Yeah, I mean they are so detailed, so precise. The clothing is terrific on the character, on the figures. They're really nice. My coworker, my employee Hannah Fletcher, bought one a Mandalorian hot toy for her boyfriend, and it was so awesome. It was really nice.
And they do them for, like, all the major movies and shows at this point, like, the genre like, they have Spider-Man: No Way Home, they have a Green Goblin out.
Mhm.
This is kind of, tangentially related, so here's, like, the Green Goblin.
Yeah.
Man, Sideshow, and Hot Toys, they do some great, collectibles, so, yeah, I wish I could just buy and own all of them
Oh, same here.
because 'cause they're so cool. Any expectations for tonight's episode 5?
I'm hoping that no more
We're
back.
done with the flashbacks, right? You feel
Yeah,
like we're done with the
yeah.
flashbacks.
I just wanted to put up the picture for everybody to see on this hot toy
Yeah,
Green Goblin.
that looks
But
amazing.
I was a little late on that, so
Yeah.
just sorry about that. Before we get into the
Oh,
episode, do a quick little
we
run.
never got, like, a Green Goblin, like a 6
Mhm.
scale Green Goblin like this when the first movie came out. They
Exactly.
started like, some companies started making them for, like, Spider-Man 3 and stuff, but it wasn't really
And look at the
that's
detail
when
on the
these really
face.
yeah. The
That,
likenesses are pitch perfect, yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Every it's like a one it's basically like 1 to 1.
Yep. It's funny how
Virtually
when you go this.
perfect.
It's funny how when you go through these really fast, you're like, "Come on, Goblin, give me a little scare. Give me a little." Yeah, nice
He
picture.
got
Nice picture.
yeah.
Look at man. Oh, give me some terror in that face.
He's got the but he's got the glider, the suit, and everything, so
Yeah,
but
exactly.
yeah, I feel like we're done with the flashback thing. It feels like they caught up now that he's finished with the back to tank kind of
Mhm.
like dream stuff. It
Yeah.
feels like they're finished up with the flashbacks and we're in the present now, though. It wouldn't surprise me if we saw a couple more flashbacks to like Geonosis or something. Like if he
Yeah.
gets injured, let's
Mhm.
say he suddenly gets injured and passes out, like maybe we'll see like Geonosis again or something.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be now just a sprint to the end. I really do think it's gonna be a sprint to the end. How long do you think today's episode is gonna be? I'm hoping it's not like a 30-minute, 38. I hope it's like
Because here's the pattern. It's like a 30, 35, 36-minute episode. Then it's like a 40+ minute episode, and then wash, rinse, repeat. So every odd episode has been like under 40 minutes,
yeah.
and every even episode so far has been over 40 minutes. So going by this is an odd episode, an odd numbered episode. Going by that pattern, it should be under 40 minutes tonight, which
Mhm.
I hope is not the case, but that's kind of what I'm expecting.
Yeah, exactly. And I agree with you on that.
I
I'm
don't want that, but that's kind of that's kind of the pattern they're doing right now. I don't
exactly.
know.
Like, just give me 3 1 hour, close to 1 hour episodes, and I'll be happy.
I do want more Danny Trejo.
Yeah.
Am I saying that right?
Danny
Trejo?
Trejo?
Trejo.
Yeah.
I want more Stephen Root. I want those characters to get named.
Mhm.
I want to see Boba Fett riding the Rancor into battle, though we might not see that tonight.
About
They
it.
might save that for the finale.
Mhm.
We did get a little bit of the Rancor last week, though.
Yes, we did.
Um, like you can't tease the Mandalorian that hard and not have him show up. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Especially when you get the music, you know he's coming in. They can't just do that and just be like, "Sorry."
And
Just
make it like you can't make it like the Bad Batch or the
yeah,
clones, right?
yeah, no.
It's gotta be Mando.
Mhm. I agree.
There were now this was like after that episode debut, there were trends all over Twitter because of the music. So a lot of people are anticipating we're gonna get a Mandalorian appearance tonight.
Yeah, and I
So
think we're going to get one. If it's not this episode, it's next.
now do you think Fennec and Boba Fett would try to call the other Mandalorian like Bo-Katan and her what's her tribe?
Um,
Bo-Katan Kryze, Katie Sackhoff.
it's possible. It's possible that they could bring her in. Like, to be honest, anything is possible right now at where we're at with the show, especially now that we're in the present.
The Night Owls. They're the Night Owls. Do you think they'll call in the Night Owls? So Sasha Banks, Cosca Reeves, Axe Wovis, you think, and do you think they would answer for the money?
Well, that's the thing. Like, will they answer? It's hard to say because she has her own thing that's going on.
Yeah,
But it's possible because it could set up a Mandalorian. Because that would,
because we are waiting for season 3 of Mandalorian,
yeah.
and will Mando, if he go up, will he have a new ship? Is he going to have a new ship? Because the Razor Crest got destroyed in season 2, and will he have the dark saber?
He will have the dark saber, but I don't know. And I think he'll have a ship of some type. I don't know if he's gonna have,
He's going to need something.
yeah.
Probably, I mean, I don't know what he's going to have, but he's going to have some kind of
Mhm.
ship
Yes. He
of
has to
some
get there
kind.
somehow.
Now, I do think the music this season has been fantastic.
Oh yeah, it's been great.
Ludwig Göransson, his music, like he did the main theme.
Hmm.
The main theme is awesome. It's not quite the same as Mandalorian. It sounds different. Um, Mandalorian's a bit kind of like more spaghetti western, but I like that but I like that we just got a little bit of that Mando theme last week to kind of bring us out. And I also the other scene I really like, that kind of Godfather gathering scene with all the other crime lords,
Yeah, that
and
was.
then the flex with the Rancor. Yeah. So why don't you explain to our viewers who are coming in and who might be joining us in the chat how we do the watch party format
Yeah.
for this
Well,
show?
while I'm getting my Apple TV ready, so that we could start
Yes.
checking out and seeing, waiting for it. So this is how everything works here. In about 8 minutes, we're gonna, well, probably sooner because we've been noticing that the show comes on at around 11:50 p.m. As soon as the show comes off, we're going to be turning off our audio. We're going to be turning off our video because due to copyright reasons, we cannot show you the show. And we can't watch it together while we're streaming. But we can watch it together from a comfort of our own home. We're still working on the possibility of being able to give you a link so that you join with us, but that hasn't worked out too well. But we're trying to get it to work through Disney Plus. But immediately after the show airs and it's done, we get to the credits. There's no extra credits scenes. We come back and we talk about chapter 5, everything that we saw, what we liked, what we didn't like. We give it a score, and then we get some candy out of the Boba Fett pop that's over there. And Jeffrey, you're talking, but I can't hear you.
Sorry, I was on mute for a second. See, Boba Fett's agreeing with you because he's nodding. See,
Yeah, there
while
you
he's
go.
blasting off on his rock with his jetpack.
That is a cool pop figure, though. I gotta
It is.
admit.
It is a cool Funko Pop. Now, but he also has a question for you,
Yes.
Michael. Why speak of conflict when cooperation can make us all rich?
Because conflict's just the way of life.
Yes. So
Hate to say it, but it's been like that this month with everything that's
I
going.
hope we don't get copyright struck because I show the Funko Pop on the stream.
Seriously, yeah, with the way things are
And
on
we,
YouTube nowadays.
yeah,
And this is the funniest thing.
we're
Those
promoting the show. It's like, come on, we're promoting the products.
exactly. But here's the funny thing: the CEO of YouTube sent out had this on the panel,
Yeah.
had a little letter that she sent out, and I'm just like, we're the creatives here, and I don't know what in the hell. You make it sound like, yeah, we're not
I
getting paid that much. You are, so there you go.
I just
No.
don't. I,
Yep, and we
all
have
right. Well, we're here.
Ian.
We're having a good
Very
time.
good.
Oh, Julian is here. Hello, Kyron Julian. Thanks for joining us. So we're about 5 minutes out. So usually it drops out at 10 minutes to the hour, the new episode. So we'll be taking a break to watch the episode, and then we'll be back. But if Julian, if you have any questions, if you have any
Remarks.
any feedback,
Yeah.
anything you want to talk about tonight, feel free to just post it in the chat.
Yeah. And don't forget to come back after the episode because
Yeah.
that's what we're talking about it. And we want your questions. We want to hear what you have to say, what your thoughts are. I know it's late. Trust me, I know it's late.
It's not that late.
But hey, for after working all day, it's late.
See, I like that. I like that Bo-Katan's like her unit is called the Night Owls. We're kind of like Night Owls right now.
Yeah.
We're kind of like honorary Mandalorians, you and me.
Here's what we're doing. We're preparing.
We don't have cool armor.
We're preparing for CinemaCon in Vegas in April. We need to be able to stay up late, really late, because it's Vegas, so you never know what's gonna happen. So there you go.
Yeah. Now this is exciting for you because you didn't go to CinemaCon.
No,
last August. You took the time off.
Yeah,
and it was my first CinemaCon.
Yeah. It was just we had to take care of the employees, and it wasn't the right time. So
I still think you should have gone.
Well, yeah, of course.
You would have had a great time with us. We were partying it up.
Yeah.
There were so many great events, and I have to give it to the CinemaCon staff. They treated I felt very well, for considering it was my first experience. I felt I was treated very well. Yeah. So hopefully I will get to go again in April. I am looking forward to that CinemaCon in Vegas. Just, because we saw the first Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. We saw footage for the Batman. We got to see the premiere of Ghostbusters Afterlife. And new footage for Top Gun Maverick, for Mission Impossible 7, which got delayed again. Mission Impossible 7 and 8. Oh my god. But yeah. Oh, speaking of the Batman, what do you think of the movie is going to be almost 3 hours long now? Basically 2 hours 47 minutes for the Batman.
One, it's definitely longer than some of the episodes on Disney Plus have been.
Yeah.
You know what? It doesn't shock me anymore. It doesn't shock. And I wouldn't be surprised as eventually we're going to get Star Wars movies that are about that long as well. Are we at 11:47?
I think the last Jedi was like 2.5 hours. It's 11:47.
Yeah, it was about 2.5 hours. The Last Jedi
might have been longer,
but we want a good Star Wars.
Yeah, Last Jedi was It was a 2.5 hour movie basically, but this is closer to 3 hours. This is even longer than Dune. Jeez. And Mike, you have to remember, this won't have a day and date release either.
Oh yeah, that is true. You got to go to a movie theater to go see it.
Do you think that release plan paid off for Warner Brothers and HBO Max?
I think it did.
Okay.
I think it really did, because a lot of people, from what I was hearing, when the episodes, when they launched HBO Max, their subscriber base wasn't that high. I think it did help them get some subscribers.
But I believe I read in Deadline that to the cost of doing that day and date plan with all those major releases cost them over $200 million.
Yeah,
they had to kind of sweeten the deal and make it right with all the creatives and the talent who probably had back end points and box office points.
I agree, and it's just like,
I heard they're not going to try that again this year, but no. I mean, we are still in a pandemic, so we're not out of the woods yet.
Yep.
All right, so we're counting down. We're just a couple minutes away. Do you think we'll see Grogu this season? It seems unlikely.
That's going to be for the
okay. Future. I always had this issue.
Mm-hmm.
Remember in The Mandalorian, in the season 2 finale, Boba Fett is nowhere to be found when Luke Skywalker shows up.
Yeah.
So I had this kind of this is deep cut nerd, dumb fan theory, super nerdy fan and whatever. My thought was, after what happened in the season 2 finale, Fennec Shand relayed what happened to Boba Fett. He's wearing his helmet. He gulps, and you can't see him gulp because he's wearing his helmet. He's like, "Yeah, let's go to Tatooine and let's take over Jabba's operation." That kind of thing. Like, we're not going after Luke Skywalker. We're not going after Han Solo. Like, He's like, been there, done that. I'm not.
I know what happened to me.
Hey, Han, Luke, you stay in your lane, I'll stay in mine. That kind of thing, right?
Yeah. Like, he's just like, I know what happened. I don't want to go through it again. Look at how long I had to be in a back the tank because of friggin' the juices of the friggin' Sarlacc pit. I'm good. I'm gonna go take over Tatooine. Here we
So when
go.
he has scores to settle, he settles the score with the biker gang and the Sarlacc pit, but he doesn't go after Head and Luke. Like,
yep,
no thanks.
Chapter 5 is up.
All right, here we go, guys. So we're gonna be turning off for a bit, and we'll be back right after the episode is over to recap.
Watch the episode, come back, and we'll be talking about episode 5.
Oh my God. Twitter, the tweets, the videos. Oh my God. Oh my God. Wow, folks. All right. Marvin, Kieran, Julian, all our people in the chat. This is Jeffrey. We are back on the MUSE TV watch party for the Book of Boba Fett, episode 5. This week's episode, we are going to be talking spoilers, so just fair warning. We're going to be talking about what we just watched. So there was no Boba Fett this week, but there was lots of Mandalorian. It was basically, what is the reverse of a backdoor pilot? I don't know, but that's basically what we got this week. But folks were right about Mandalorian.
Damn.
What was it? Mike, I know you know industry TV. What do you call the reverse of a backdoor pilot?
I really do not know.
You know what a backdoor pilot is, right?
Yes, I do.
That's like when a TV show, when they do like basically a TV show, they basically run like a spin-off episode, like a prototype episode for a potential spin-off within the show, rather than doing its own pilot, like a kind of. It's basically what they did here, except the Mandalorian was the show. It was the backdoor, and they gave the backdoor pilot for the Book of Boba Fett season 2, and now we're getting a reverse backdoor pilot for the Mandalorian season 3 this week. What? And what is going on?
And all I could say is, wow, what a good show. And once again, Bryce Dallas Howard.
She directed this, The Return of the Mandalorian.
And it's good. Damn, Bryce Dallas Howard is really proving to me to be a really amazing director.
We're going to get into all that, but oh my God, my head is reeling right. Well, I mean, did you think that we would just get. Now, we were wrong about a shorter episode this week, because this was like, I think this was the longest episode so far.
It was like 50
it was all Mandalorian. It was all Mandalorian. It was all Mandalorian. There was no Boba Fett this week. What is going on?
Oh man, I am like so speechless. It's not even funny.
All right. So first question: Is this an indictment on Book of Boba Fett that the best episode so far did not have any Boba Fett in it?
Yeah, I think it's. I need to say it, but I think it is.
Because like everything in this episode was like picking up from after the end of season 2 of Mandalorian and picking up all those threads and what has Mandalorian been doing? What happened to the covert? What happened to the armor and Pass of Isla? Will he see Grogu again, which seems to be his goal? What is going on with the Darksaber and everything? What his ship? He's flying commercial star cruisers, which was hilarious.
Yeah.
He's got to check his weapon. But you know what? I like those scenes where he's like, he lost his ship, so he has to fly commercial flights, and he's got to check his weapons, and you see those like I like those slow dramatic moments where he's just sitting by himself, and he's like,
Yep.
But you want to know what else was weird? That space colony, that like orbital space ring, that was like something that was like Arthur C. Clarke, you know? That was like more traditional sci-fi there.
And something that I just from a movie I saw earlier last week that comes out next Friday.
Moonfall.
Yeah. Kind of falls
like in The Expanse too.
Yeah.
It was almost more like traditional science fiction. That whole kind, and then we had those long tracking shots. I was not expecting this.
And
I was expecting like the last scene would be like the first scene, and then he'd like be like, Boba Fett, what do you need me for? What are we doing here?
And here's the thing, it was movie quality CGI.
It
wasn't like the speeder, like when they were riding the bikes through Mos Espa.
Yeah.
No.
So I'm like, why were they not spending this kind of money and production values early? Like, what is the deal?
Oh, I don't know about that one.
Do you think they were originally meant to be 6 episodes and they did this as like an extra to get people warmed up for Mandalorian season 3 or something?
I don't think so. I think this was always the case. And that's the way
I don't know. I've mixed. I don't want to say I have mixed feelings, but like this is like, were you expecting this?
No, not at all.
Was this a good move or a bad move?
To me, it was a good move because I liked it. I liked
it a lot too. But I'm like, does this undermine the show?
It kind of gives it to me. Like if you're not truly a fan, I think you would feel like, oh, they had to bring them back in because the show's not that great.
Because my feeling was last week. My feeling was last week the show is picking up and getting better. That was my feeling last week. After a bit of a slow start. And I'm like, I feel like every episode of any Star Wars show should be like this grand, this big, this epic, don't you think?
Oh, I agree. I completely
not like every episode, but just in terms of the production values, the direction, the CGI, and all of that, you know? Maybe not necessarily the scope. You can have but like they did so much. Like I was not expecting basically a 45-minute movie about Mandalorian just kind of, you know,
where he's at right
now, right after season 2. That's not what I was expecting. Like I'm thrown for a loop now. I am really thrown for a loop.
I agree.
But I enjoyed it. I had a good time.
Oh, I love it. This was a fun episode.
So this episode was The Return of Mandalorian, directed by Bryce Dallas Howard, who directed episodes of seasons 1 and 2 of Mandalorian. The Bryce Dallas Howard, the daughter of Ron Howard and actress, who's now getting into directing. So, I mean, I gotta say, I think she did a good job. I think this is, in terms of her direction, I think this is her best work yet.
Oh, I agree. I just love the work that she's been doing. It's just she's been directing very well, and this one is another level to me.
Has she done a movie? Has she done a movie yet? I'm curious.
She did a documentary called Dads, and I interviewed her for that, and it was a pretty good documentary. And
does she want to do features?
I think it's in her blood. Let's be honest. I think it's in her blood. I think her dad really taught her a lot, and I wouldn't be surprised if she winds up doing a feature eventually.
Okay, so we had Emily Swallow back as the armor, Pedro Pascal as Mandalorian, Amy Sedaris as Pelimoto. Now this is interesting. Here, I want to show you one of the droids looked like the companion from Star
Oh,
Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I'm going to send you the
it-
photo.
I thought exactly the same thing. I
A
was
little.
thinking exactly the same thing.
It could be it. I don't know if it's the exact same one, but it had the same first number, BD.
Yeah.
In Fallen Order, it's called I sent you the photo. It's called BD1. I don't
Mhm.
know if this is the same BD, but it looks the same, doesn't it?
Yeah. It looks the
And
same.
R5, obviously that's R5D4 from A New Hope, correct?
Yes.
In her work. Is this not the same droid, or is the color
The color scheme is different, but I don't know if it's the same droid.
so they're doing actually this week Lucasfilm Games and Respawn Entertainment, they're doing the sequel to this game.
Mhm.
So obviously, you have Cal Kestis, who is the owner of BD1, and he's like a Jedi, and
Yep.
Cal Kestis is not around in the original trilogy, so
Yeah.
that would seem to imply that he either dies or or he's gone somewhere.
Exactly.
So I guess that would
Or is
maybe
it hiding?
I mean, if he's in hiding, why does he not meet Luke and all that?
True.
That's kind of my problem with Ahsoka still being alive. But
Mm.
I don't that's a whole can of worms.
Yeah.
So what do you so he got his new ship. His new ship is an old Naboo Galactic Star Cruiser.
Mhm.
So what do you think of
Starfighter.
him getting a new ship?
It's a starfighter, not a star cruiser.
Starfighter, whatever.
Oh, I really like the way they did it with the ship. And when he got it, I thought it was gonna be a joke, that he'll get something else, and that was just like a plot a prop to try and just make some money, but nah. I mean, that was just pretty awesome. And then a lot of references to episode 1.
Yeah, did you see what he said when he got out of the ship?
Yep. Yep.
What did he say?
Wizard. It must be a say. I guess they're making it into a saying now. I thi
That was and then he went through he basically went through the track from the pod race.
Yeah. And anybody who's watching this, there's gonna be spoilers. There's no way you cannot talk
Yeah.
about this episode without spoilers. So hopefully you've seen it. If you haven't seen it, just watch just watch out for what
Okay, so I'm going through the cast list now.
Mhm,
Kaba Bays, the gangster from the opening scene,
mhm.
was Ardashir Radpour. Does that name sound familiar?
No.
The Guildmaster, who I guess was the person who collected the bounty, was Helen Sadler. Does that name sound familiar?
No.
Helen Sadler. We're just looking up the cat.
Yeah. If
She's
anybody
done Love, Death,
on
and
this,
Robots and some other
please put
stuff.
in if anybody who's watching, please put in your comments. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear what you thought of the episode. So please.
Okay, so we also got Carson Teva, Paul Sun Hyung Lee, who did some Mandalorian appearances. He showed up again when he got stopped by the X-wings.
Mhm.
Lieutenant Max Lloyd Jones. Who was that? So the one who was with him was Max Lloyd Jones.
Mhm.
Who is this actor? That name sounds so familiar. Has he done? Let's
I
see.
have access to.
Like this name, like I don't know who this actor is, but the name sounds so familiar.
Hmm.
Oh, he did. Oh, he was. So Max Lloyd Jones was the physical double for Luke Skywalker in the season 2 finale of The Mandalorian. So they gave him a. So I guess it's sort of like a bonus. Like, hey, you basically had to do a thankless job doubling it. Being a physical on-set double for Luke Skywalker. We're going to give you an on-screen speaking role, basically,
Yeah.
kind of thing. Let's see what else. We had Carson Teva again from Mandalorian. He was in there. See anyone else? So Tate Fletcher was the physical double for for Paz Vizsla. Brendan Wayne and Lateef Crowder back as doubles for the Mandalorian. Do you think that was Jon Favreau voicing Paz Vizsla again?
I think so. I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm not sure. I wasn't even that deep into it. I was so into the show that I just wasn't even.
Have you taken off your helmet?
That was.
I would have lied.
Oh yeah,
like no one saw. Like who's gonna tell? Who's gonna tell her? Who's gonna tell her?
Exactly, and like, how many Mandalorians are out there?
Like, okay, so here's my problem with that whole thing. Like, he's kowtowing. Like, I get the sense that Mandalorian is like, I get the sense that Din Djarin, he's an orphan. He needs a place to belong. He needs like a family or something. He's desperate for like a sense of belonging, right? But he's kowtowing to like this, like Scientologists, like the Super Adventurer Club, you know? Like they're getting on him for removing his helmet, and they're selling him like a pack of like cult lies.
Yeah.
Like the creed and all that, like, oh, we have to follow the creed. He met a whole bunch of Mandalorians who take off their helmets all the time. It's wacko. It's wacko nonsense, you know?
Exactly. It's the old way versus a new way.
It's like what is it? It's Catholic, it's like Roman Catholicism versus Lutheranism, right?
Well, yeah, that's better. That's better.
You know.
Yeah.
You know, it's but they're selling him a pack of lies. Like but why is he buying into this nonsense from the armorer when like Bo-Katan Kryze, they're all true-born Mandalorians, you know? Even though he's adopted into the whole creed or whatever, or he's a foundling or whatever, why is he so desperate to cling to these beliefs?
I think it's just he was a child when he was found, and that's what he was brought up to believe. That's what I'm thinking, and the people who rescued him.
So I guess they're setting the stage if we're getting a third season of Mandalorian. They're like, to atone for your sins, you have to. What did they? She said something about something beneath in the minds of Mandalore.
Yeah, that he has to
go in like the pools or something.
Himself or whatever.
Cleanse himself. I'm gonna try to find the scene again. I did like that stuff. with the training with the Darksaber, and he's clearly not. He clearly doesn't even understand how to use it.
Yeah, and this is the one thing I like is the fact that it goes back to the old Star Wars movies when Lucas would talk about how the lightsaber being something that you needed to hold it with two hands because it had so much energy.
You can't fight again. You can't. Oh, you have to fight with it. You can't fight against it.
Yeah. And they kind of like had a lot of that old lore to it.
And I like that they finally said Paz Vizsla's name, and he is part of Clan Vizsla.
Yeah.
Even this was the first time they actually said his name out loud. So okay, so I'm trying to get to the scene where what did she say? Okay, here it is. Leave apostate. He calls him an apostate. According to Creed, one may only be redeemed in the living waters of beneath the mines of Mandalore. This is like do you remember that episode? Did you ever watch South Park?
I was thinking Purple Rain.
Do you remember the Scientologist episode of South Park?
I remember that one.
Remember the Super Adventure Club? Like what is this stupid rule? Like You're out of the club. You're out of the club. Oh, but you can cleanse yourself in the living waters in the mines. What is this? What is this? He has to get baptized. He has to get baptized, and all of his sins will be cleansed and forgiven. Like what?
Yeah.
Like, come on here, man. Like, come on. Like, what is this wacko religious stuff?
I wasn't thinking that. I was thinking Prince and Purple Rain when he made
Have you ever baptized? Have you ever been baptized?
Yeah.
Okay. So is that basically what this is? He needs a baptism.
Yeah, it's kind of when you had to go back and get you've done something bad and you want to make sure you're okay.
But you get what I'm saying. This is like this is like a religious cult.
Yeah.
They're making up these rules that make no sense, you know?
Yeah.
Like he did it. He did take off his helmet, but he did it for a just cause, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what? And you know what? I bet Paz Vizsla has taken off his helmet too.
Yeah.
The schmuck.
Mm-hmm.
The guy,
you have to eat.
Well, no, but like the guy, the guy who Darth Maul, who did Darth Maul defeat for the dark saber? Because he had the dark saber for a while too.
Yeah.
Pre-Vizsla. Mm-hmm. Pre-Vizsla was Death Watch, and he took his helmet off all the time.
Yeah.
In public, in full view of others. So it's like they're making up these whack job rules, and they're punishing Mandalorian for no reason. It's not fair. So are we going to see, when he says talking about he needs to see his little friend, are we going to see Grogu the next episode?
No, I think that's going to be saved for Mandalorian season 3.
Does this mean is Mandalorian just going to be in every episode for the rest of the season now, you think?
Yeah. Because I mean, they're building a muscle. Unless they're not going to show it next episode and they're going to show Boba Fett on what he's doing right now.
Did they just I almost get did they just save all the budget on the sets in this episode?
It looks like
these are like the best looking sets we've seen all season.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely the best CGI I've seen all season.
Yeah, because the CGI in the speeder chase was like subpar, right?
Yeah.
And then the CGI in the when he's flying the starfighter.
Yeah.
Too.
Mm-hmm.
This is like I'm not trying to knock the show. Yeah. I'm not trying to knock, because I do like the show, but I just feel like I don't know. I feel like resources were maybe
they gave a little extra.
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like they maybe should have spread the resources a little bit more.
Yeah.
As good as this episode was, and as good as everything looked, maybe spread it around a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on that. But
just because that speeder chase, like, I don't know. I can see this. I don't want this episode to cause a lot of conflict, but I fear it's going to.
Yeah.
I fear, like, did you see that article Hollywood Reporter came out today?
No, I didn't.
Like, they basically trashed the show. So here we go. The Hollywood Reporter. Book of Boba Fett chases a challenging home stretch. With 3 episodes left, the Disney Plus series is shaping up to be the show fans feared The Mandalorian would be. That's kind of a...
Well, here's the thing.
I felt that was kind of harsh.
It's hard for me to believe the Hollywood Reporter if they gave like great praise to Hawkeye, the series.
Okay.
It's really hard for me. And
well, this might have been a different writer. It might not have been the same writer.
And also, too, I gotta go with the age of the person as well.
Okay.
Because I hate to do that, but like, it's you have to know the lore. You have to know what's going on, and it's like,
if you like love the lore and everything, like, this is like the best episode.
Oh, definitely. If you grew up watching Star Wars and you knew about the lore, and you read the books and you've seen everything, you are literally you're into it. Easily into it.
Did anyone actually ever say wizard in episode 1?
Anakin. Was it Anakin or was it his friend? I think it was his friend who said it. Or maybe
I
Anakin,
found it. Yep.
maybe Anakin did in the pod.
So it wasn't Anakin.
No.
I remember reading, like, this is in the early days of the internet.
Mm-hmm.
I remember reading before Phantom Menace came out that, like, Anakin's catchphrase was going to be like, "This is so wizard." Like, this is so cool. And I just feel like whoever wrote this episode,
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely when you have the Mandalorian stepping out of the starfighter and saying wizard, like that's like that is like a flex. That is like a total flex.
Oh yeah.
Like that's like, oh yeah, you're gonna trash episode 1. Well, we're gonna give that stupid catchphrase to the Mandalorian, the coolest character in 20 years.
We're gonna make it cool. It wasn't cool the first time. We're gonna make it cool the second time around.
Yeah. But I do like that we got R5D4.
Yes.
Oh, what do you think of Amy Sedaris as Peli?
I just like the character. I think she does a great job.
Do you like that she dated Jawas? And they're
yeah, that's fun. They're a little furry, which is kind of like,
does that mean she laid with a Jawa?
Hey, Tatooine's a lonely place. So there we go.
Did you like how the Jawa was hitting on her?
Oh yeah.
That she's like, nah, I'm focusing on me now.
Uh-huh.
The Jawas were pretty chill too.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Mando was getting along with the Jawas.
Yep. And I know we're jumping all over the place on this.
Oh my god! So good, oh my god!
One thing I liked is the fact that when he's in the taking commercial flights,
yeah,
and he pulls out the little thing that with the whatever he made out of the Beskar spear,
yeah,
and like you could tell he's like he misses Grogu.
It's like
so much.
The armor was the armor wrapped it up in that little cloth. And she wrapped it up and made it look like Grogu's little head.
Exactly.
And he's looking at the little cloth wrapping and it's shaped like Grogu's head.
Mm-hmm.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It was such a good episode. Like definitely one of the best of the season.
Oh man.
And it's just and the worst thing about it is like we don't have a clue when the Mandalorian season 3 is supposed to come out yet.
I would hope it'll come out later this year, but we really don't. I think they started filming it already.
Yes, they did.
So I wonder if they filmed this with part of season 3.
It's possible.
But I guess the setup will be in season 3 is going back to Mandalore. Yeah. And we actually like they talked about Night of 1,000 Tears in the Great Purge in the first season. So we actually kind of see it a little bit in a flashback.
Yeah, and this is like the first time we've seen Mandalore on like
in live action,
in live action, not in any animated.
So we seen it in we saw it in Clone Wars and Rebels, but it was we never got to see it in live action before. So I guess there was a lot of just bad karma around because Bo-Katan had the Darksaber before, but Sabine Wren just handed it to her.
Yeah.
When she handed it to her, no one cared. So like they're making up all these rules about it has to be won in battle. So it's like I don't get all these I don't get all these old culture Mandalorian rules. It's like the Super Adventure Club, Mike.
Yeah. Pretty much. If anybody's watching and they want to comment, please comment, make your comments. We would love to hear what you thought of the show because this is a great episode. Episode 5.
This episode looks like it cost $100 million.
Oh, it looks like it. Compared to that one episode, I think it was episode 2 or episode 3.
Or episode 3 with
the bikes.
Yeah.
Going around Tatooine, where it's like you literally could tell the CGI was off. This one,
It was like they were in one place. It was like they were in one place.
Yeah, this was perfect CGI.
But they had practical sets and everything too.
Yeah, exactly.
And that
That's one thing. I'm just kind of like, what happened here? Like, you just got lazy, needed to get it out. What was it? Because it was so
I
off.
almost wonder if like if Book of Boba Fett was just like a backup or something. If it was like some like we have some extra time, we have a bit of extra money. Like this is where,
Or just to give kudos to Boba Fett, because I don't think they really he never got the screen time that he should have. Jango Fett being in episode 2 was kind of like a bad taste in a lot of the fans' mouths. Maybe this is to redeem that, to finish off the story.
well, I mean, I hope the rest of the episodes look as good as this.
Oh, so do I. I really hope so.
But because it wasn't a bad episode, and it's not a bad show.
No,
It's just that
you know how people are. It's like with that Hollywood Reporter article. It's like, yes, it's maybe you saw something different, but a lot of
I mean, look, I think you can make a good argument for the way the show has looked so far. I think you compared to this.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you can.
Yeah.
Like this is even above what the Marvel shows are doing, you know?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Like this is like a level of quality like that you want the Marvel shows to get, but they haven't quite gotten to yet.
Yeah.
Especially when you like you could tell the designers and the artists loved working on that kind of orbital colony, whatever that was. Because that was like something like something straight out of like a classic sci-fi. It was more like classic sci-fi than like fantasy.
And it's something we've never seen in the Star Wars universe.
Right.
In actual real life motion picture type of film. We've never seen anything like that on the films or on TV. And that's discrediting any of the animation stuff. I mean, in live action, we've never seen it.
So we're at least going to get one more episode of Mandalorian, right?
Yes. And it's going to be him talking to Boba, trying to figure out what he's doing. And pretty much he's doing it for free. I don't think this guy hasn't taken credits this whole episode, so I don't know.
Well, I guess he doesn't really need. I mean, he needed a ship.
Yeah.
I guess he's got a ship, and I guess he's happy with this for right now. Even though, I got to be honest, the Starfighter does look fast, but it also looks like a death trap. To be frank.
Yeah. But you could already tell. And already in my mind, I always tell where the R2 unit would go. That's where Grogu would be.
So is he going to steal Grogu or something?
I don't think so. I think he's just going to probably take him away from training, or he's going to need him for something. I don't know.
Why?
Don't know yet.
Don't you think Grogu would be safer with Luke until Kylo Ren.
Unless they retcon, because it seems like they're retconning a lot of the new trilogy.
Wouldn't this mean Kylo Ren kills Grogu?
Well, technically that's what you would think, but they could retcon the whole trilogy if they wanted to.
All right, let's not get on.
Let's be honest though.
What are they gonna retcon?
The whole series. Like they could literally.
Do you really believe that?
You could do anything at this point, because I really think that
I don't think so.
They pissed off a lot of people with a lot of the.
Yeah.
Like
the Phantom Menace pissed off a lot of people.
Oh yeah, I still can't.
The prequels pissed off a lot of people, you know.
Except for Revenge.
And now you have the Mandalorian, and he's He's Wizard now.
Mhm.
He's taken Wizard back for George Lucas.
Yeah. And that's the
So
thing. I think, like, if they really wanted to do that, they could.
you can't
Um,
you can't keep retconning and fixing everything. You got to just tell your story.
exactly, but I don't know. I think because it's just not George Lucas is way net anymore, and what they did was kind of like, yeah, I mean, they're gonna have to like with all their properties, they're gonna have to update them eventually.
I mean, they could just keep doing shows like this that are just in that
Well, and
sort
that's
of.
why I say Star Wars is great, and we've seen it when you could lengthen it out, and it's not just a.
Look what they did with. Look how many seasons they got out of Clone Wars, and that's like a
Mhm.
3-year period.
Yeah,
And that's a 3-year period between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith.
yeah,
And they got like what, 7 seasons, and now they have the Bad Batch, and you're still in between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, and there's like they're doing Bad Batch, they're doing Andor, Cassian Andor show, uh
yeah,
what else? They're doing the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. So
uh-huh,
you have all these gaps of time that they keep doing new stories in. So that's not really a problem that there's like an endpoint. They just have to work with what, what's available.
yeah.
But
That's what I say. It's just like, I think when you could really flesh out a story instead of having to be in a constraint or a time period, I mean, you
man,
can
just
tell a good
when
story.
I look at this episode,
Mhm.
I'm like, look at how confident Bryce Dallas Howard has become.
Yeah.
Because her first episode of Mandalorian, I think, was that kind of Seven Samurai type episode, I
Mhm.
think.
Yeah.
And you can see the development and the improvement.
Mhm.
And she just seems more confident and more sure of herself this time.
Yep.
You know? Um,
I agree.
I see like a stronger focus and a stronger vision. Now look, obviously this is like a TV series, so there's kind of like a built-in style, but this seems more. I don't know, I just see more confidence here, more assuredness,
Yeah.
in this than her past episodes.
Oh, I
And
agree.
this was a long episode too.
Yes, it was. It was what, 58, 55, 58 minutes?
I mean, it was I would give it like
For
40
their actual run.
with credits and all the intros. I'd say it's about 45 minutes,
Yeah.
but this is like what when you have a premium streaming series,
Mhm.
like we should not be getting episodes under 40 minutes. We just
Yeah.
shouldn't.
I
I
mean,
don't think that's a lot to ask.
it really isn't, because look at Peacemaker. We're getting literally 40 minute, well, an hour episode every week. And that's what we like. If we're paying for Disney Plus, we should be getting an hour episode unless it deems not to be.
Like that's why we're paying every month,
Mhm.
we're paying every month for a premium exclusive experience that we can't get anywhere else.
Yeah.
Even theaters.
Hmm.
So it has to be like up to par.
Yeah.
So let me look I kind of want to see Peacemaker, the last episode, just for comparison's
Mhm.
sake. So let's see. Duh, duh, duh. So they just did episode 4. So the first episode was like 48 minutes.
Mhm.
The second episode was shorter. So the second 2 episodes were shorter. But we
Mhm.
got the first. Here's the difference. With Peacemaker, we got the first 3 episodes together.
Mhm.
And then the 4th episode was 46 minutes.
Yeah.
So I feel it's a little more balanced.
Mhm.
Plus, we basically started out with with like a whole movie.
Yeah.
Because we got 3 episodes right off the bat.
Mhm.
And I think have both with Book of Boba Fett would have been a lot better if we got 2 episodes off the bat.
Yeah.
But do you think this episode of is going to cause like a lot of controversy and derision?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think for people who don't understand the story
Yeah.
or don't understand the lore or don't know too much about it or just want a bunch of action or just want something like that, yeah, they're probably gonna have some problems with it. But if you're a fan of the series and you're a fan of Star Wars and you love the Mandalorian and you like the way this, I mean, you're gonna love it. There's no way you're not gonna love it. You're gonna love this episode. I'm sure there's gonna be people who are gonna talk down about it, or gonna say like, "Oh, they don't believe in the Book of Boba Fett, so they had to do something." It fits with what's going on. You have
Well,
to,
obviously they had. I mean, they had this planned out for a
yeah,
long time. Clearly, they
yeah.
had to. But I wonder. I also wonder if this episode was like an add-on
Mhm.
to kind of, I don't know,
Well, also too,
because
if you
I don't. I could almost sworn I heard first this was going to be 6 episodes.
yeah.
Then I suddenly heard it was going to be 7. Now, let me just say I don't remember where I heard 6, but I
Mm.
don't know. I could be misremembering.
But it makes sense because if you're bringing in a big character like that, you wanna know and kinda bring that main character up to speed with what's going on.
I'm not even gonna check Twitter
Yeah.
tomorrow.
You don't wanna have to do like an old '80s series where they just come in and you don't know what they're where they've been, and you just pop up into like a part of the show. At least this one you get a backstory of where he's at the time, what he's going through, getting to Tatooine.
I just figured we see him in the opening and then he would get to Boba Fett right away, but it didn't. He didn't even meet Boba Fett in this episode.
Uh-uh. And that's the thing. I think that
I was not expecting this much Mando this week.
well, me neither. I didn't think it was gonna be at all. Because I was thinking, like I was talking about, like old '80s where they just show up and there you go, and you wonder, okay, where did he come from? This one, at least they showed like what's going on, where he's at, where he's going to, and now going to help.
This is like remember the Jeffersons was a spinoff of what was that show? All in the
All
Family?
in the family.
Okay, so like this is like All in the Family
Mhm,
introduces the Jeffersons, right?
mhm,
And then the Jeffersons get their own show.
mhm.
And then this is sort of like the Jeffersons having their own show, and then suddenly it's just in the middle of the Jeffersons, you get you get Archie Bunker. Just nothing but Archie Bunker and the Jeffersons is kind of what this would be like.
And I've seen shows like that where they've done that.
Have they?
Yeah, well, like
Well,
there was a Married with Children where not Matthew Perry, like what was that guy's name? White in the world.
like in Full House, like in an episode of Full House, like Jaleel White shows up as Steve Urkel from
Mhm,
Family Matters, right? But
yeah,
he's there interacting with the Full House characters, you
mhm,
know? It's
yeah,
not like they didn't just stick a Family Matters episode in the middle of the Full House season.
yeah.
With this was basically all Mandalorian in the middle of Book of
There
Boba
you go.
Fett.
Matt LeBlanc. There was a Married to Children that completely did not have Al or any of them in it, and it was for a spin-off show, and literally they had them
A backdoor pilot, right?
yeah, and it was when he was playing the guy who was dating, uh, Al's daughter. Yeah,
Kelly's boyfriend.
yeah, yeah,
So Al was not in this episode. So they were trying to do a backdoor pilot for Matt LeBlanc's character.
yeah, that was on,
No, but this would be like Matt LeBlanc's character. Like they started the character, they started the show for Matt LeBlanc's character. The show is going for a little while, and then all of a sudden it turns into a Married with Children episode with the whole Married with Children cast, and Matt LeBlanc never shows up.
yep, exactly.
Because
There you go.
we didn't see one
We
thing
got
of.
comments coming in, so
Did you see the Darth Vader reference? Marvin, let us know.
which one? I didn't see which
Oh,
one.
I mean, I saw the wizard. I saw the
Oh,
wizard reference,
yeah,
and I mean, we saw he took he did the pod race. He did like the pod race run from
yeah,
episode 1.
yeah.
It was like the same. It was like the same track from the pod race.
Mhm.
I wish they did. Marvin, did you watch the episode this week? Marvin, did you not Have you not been listening to what we're talking about, Marvin? This episode was nothing but Mando. This was like a Mando buffet. This was like screw Boba Fett. We're doing a Mandalorian episode this week.
Oh, and the show was Top of the Heap, the one I was telling you, the spinoff.
Top of the Heap. But did Top of the Heap just run a Married with Children episode in the middle of its own season without the Top of the Heap characters? Yes, we talked about the wizard reference. We did catch that. We did catch that, Marvin. Yep. That's more of a young Anakin reference more than a Darth Vader. I know it was. Marvin, jokes are supposed to be funny, okay, guy? Jokes are supposed to be funny. The joke didn't land. So happy they actually added Mando. So are we.
Yeah, we're very happy about that.
We're happy. I'm happy with. I was just not expecting. I guess what I'm worried about. Did they show too much this week? Like this was almost like 2 episodes worth of story that they could have done for Mandalorian. A 3rd season episode. So I'm wondering, I guess what I'm worried about, did they tip their hand too much?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
I could be, and that just could be my, my neurotic, nerd, whatever.
I think it's a good reference and gives you a little hint of what we're going to see in season 3.
What do you think will happen to Boba next step? Well, I assume they're going to have to start planning for a big battle with the Pike Syndicate. Yeah. Because now the Pike Syndicate's moving into Tatooine and Mos Espa, and Boba Fett's trying to stake his claim. Mm-hmm. And then, you have the other crime lords who might turn on him,
with some old 80s music as they're getting ready to go into battle.
Like some techno synth kind of like. They should have like
Karate Kid, you're the best around.
or we should have some Queen music like in Highlander.
That would be
cool. We should have like Princesses of the Universe or something.
Flash Gordon. Yeah, or like Flash Gordon.
Yeah, like a rock anthem kind of song. Mm-hmm. What do you think will happen to Boba? I don't know. So Marvin, do you have any thoughts on the episode this week?
Yeah, I would love to hear what your thoughts are on that episode because we loved it.
Yeah, Man, I love Wednesdays. I'll be joining earlier next week. Love when you guys do this. Well, thank you, Marvin.
Hey,
we're happy to.
So much, Marvin.
We're happy. Okay, so Mike, I think we've pretty much covered the whole business. Any final thoughts?
You know what? This has been. I really liked this episode. Had a lot of fun with it. Thought it was great. I'm giving this episode a 10 out of 10.
F it, 10 out of 10.
There you go.
10 out of 10. Who cares? Who cares about?
Don't be giving me these 9 out of 10s.
Who cares about nitpicks? I am done with nitpicks. 10 out of 10.
Marvin, what are your thoughts?
Marvin, come on.
What are
before we sign off tonight?
Yep.
But yeah, 10 out of 10.
Yep. Give us a ranking.
Because my mind is like, think of me. Who was the guy that got knocked out by Tyson Fury?
Which one?
Who was the last guy he fought?
But Marvin, yeah, we want to hear
this episode was Tyson Fury, and just call my brain Deontay Wilder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of where my mind is right now after that episode.
Yeah.
Because like basically every scene is like, that's basically what was going through my head. But I am not going to get over. But I'm not going to get over that space station set.
Here we go. Marvin. Okay, Marvin. Right here. This episode was better than any episode thus far. I agree. I really liked how they added Mando. I'm also excited to see what will happen with Boba. But overall, 9 out of 10.
All right. Well, thank you, Marvin.
Thank you so much, Marvin.
Well, we got 2 more episodes to go, so we'll be back here, same bat time, same bat channel next week.
Yep,
If you want to join
11:30
us.
p.m. Pacific time, 2:30 a.m. on the East. I know for the East Coast guys, I'm sorry. I know it's late, and I wish they wouldn't drop them at midnight so that you guys could be a part of it as well. But
Who needs sleep?
exactly. But 11:30 p.m. Pacific time, 2:30 a.m. Eastern. We'll be back here for what is it now? Chapter 6. Next week.
Episode 6. So the penultimate.
Exactly.
The penultimate episode of the Book of Boba Fett.
Mm-hmm. So Jeffrey, leave them out with what you want to.
All right. So Twitter, check out my Twitter at Wheeljack83. You can check out my reviews, interviews at 411mania.com. Check out my review of Scream 5, Scream, whatever you want to call it, Spider-Man No Way Home, The Kingsman, The Witcher Season 2, Encanto, Hawkeye, Ghostbusters Afterlife. Also my interviews with the cast and crew of Ghostbusters Afterlife. My podcast, the 411 Wrestling Interviews podcast, is on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, and Spotify. Michael, thank you for having me on. Always a pleasure. And whoever is watching, I hope you're all doing well and stay safe out there. And
Awesome.
Yep. Thank you, Michael.
And here you can find me here on MUSE TV. We have some great interviews that we just did. We have the Dolly Rots coming on board this week. We have the executive producer of Moonfall coming on Monday, and you can check it out there. And also, big thing, you're going to be able to see this show. Hopefully, they approve it by next week. Hopefully, next week you'll be able to see it on Amazon Fire Stick as we go live. So we're growing. We're launching everything. The Muse Network. We have some good shows coming up. So like it on Roku. Like it on your Amazon Fire Stick. We're trying to figure out how we're going to do it on Amazon Prime, but that's taking a little while because it's a production value thing. But thank you so much for being a part of it. Thank you for being a part of the show. We thank you, Marvin. Thank you, Karan Julian, for being a part of the show, commenting. You mean a lot to us. You keep us going. So we'll see you next week here on MUSE TV, the Book of Boba Fett watch party and after show. See you then.
Bye.